All right. I got bored. This quarantine stuff is ridiculous. We're stuck at home. I live alone. So I have this welder that I bought from Harbor Freight about a year ago or so. 8, 9 months maybe. I've had it for a long time. I don't know when I bought it. Almost a year. So it's a professional inverter powered MIG and flux core welder. Some of you guys are familiar with the brand, the Titanium line. It's the higher end brand name that Harbor Freight sells. It's like a semi-professional level quality welder, which pretty heavy duty inverter power. That's the style. Plugs into a wall, 110 volt, or I'm sorry, 120 volt. It is spool gun ready, so you can weld aluminum with it. The two processes that this welder does is MIG, which is metal inert gas, and flux core. So gas metal arc welding, or FCA, flux core arc welding. For those of you who are unfamiliar with that, GMA, which is gas metal arc welding, you use a cylinder of argon gas mixed with CO2 gas, which is commonly referred to as gold gas, and it's 75% argon and 25% CO2. You can also weld with 100% CO2, and that welds, it produces more heat, but typically gold gas is what people use to weld cold rolled steel, 1018 steel, ferrous metals, etc. If you're going to run aluminum, you're going to need the spool gun that is sold separately that you can buy, and then you can weld aluminum. Okay, so I have welded with this welder that I bought. I got this on special as well. These are $400 brand new, $399 plus tax. When I got it, it was $319. However, they even marked it down from that down to $200. I ended up paying like $290, I think, plus tax. It was brand new, never used. The guy bought it, brought it back the next day, didn't even use it. It was still in the box, sealed up, not even used. He just changed his mind, or it wasn't what he wanted, or whatever. So I bought it with basically $100 off on a brand new welder, and I've welded with it, and it was great. I repaired a boat trailer for a guy who wants to go fishing. His relief springs had broken. He asked me to weld it to repair it. He said, "Can you fix this?" I said, "Absolutely." Went out there, assessed it, did my grinding, clamped the part in place, lifted up the trailer onto a block. Once the leaf springs were matched up, I tacked it, and then boom, did my weld. Used flux core because it was outdoors. So I basically flux core welded it, and then let it sit for 20-30 minutes, put the boat back on it to where the weight was on it. It held up, no problem. I said, now all you got to do is test it, but it was good. I grinded the weld down. I didn't take any pictures. I wish I would have. I was by myself. I couldn't videotape it and all that, but he was very happy with it, paid me for the job, and I was happy with the performance of this welder. So it is a semi-professional welder. When I say semi-professional, meaning the power output, because it's 140 max volts or amps. Okay, so it can handle up to 140 amps maximum. You plug it into 120 power, so you can plug it into typical power sources. You don't have to go 240. You can see right there, it's 120 volt input, and your max output is 140 amps. That's why it's called the Mig140. Now, I haven't bought a gas bottle yet. That'll be next. But it's good to go. I had a great time welding with it. Now, you got your duty cycle is 30% on these. So that means you can, out of a 10-minute weld, you can just run a bead for 3 minutes straight. before it hits the duty cycle, and it needs to cool down. And then it'll need to cool down for 7 minutes, and then you can run it again for a straight bead without stopping for 3 minutes. However, from what I've seen and what I've heard, a lot of guys have run it longer. They've gone 5 or 6 minutes before it hits the duty cycle, and then it only needs to cool down for about 4 minutes or 5 minutes. So you can typically run this thing for at least straight 5 minutes, no problem, and then let it cool down for probably about 5 minutes, and that's your duty cycle. Now, for a 30% duty cycle, that's at 90 amps. You're running it at a higher heat, more amperage. So if you're going to go less than that, you're probably going to be able to get more minutes out of it before you hit the duty cycle. So 3 minutes. If you're going to go less than the maximum rated output, you're probably going to be able to get 4, 5, 6 minutes on a straight run. Okay, now that's welding terminology. I know some of you guys aren't familiar with that, but for those of you who are, you know that the duty cycle is when the machine has reached its kind of cool down cycle where it needs to stop for a minute, chill for about 5 minutes, and then you can weld again. There is an internal fan. It does kick on automatically, and it will cool the machine down. Even after you hit the power switch and turn the power off, the fan continues to work. So what you need to do is, once you're done welding or in the process of your weld and you're done, turn the power off and leave it plugged in. Let me say that again. When you're done with your weld, turn the power off on the welder and leave it plugged in, because that fan will continue to work. Don't just unplug it. Leave it plugged in. That's very important. A lot of people mess that up, and then they end up messing up their welder. Leave it plugged in and just click the power off. You're fine. Walk away. Go get a Coke or take a break or drink some water, and come back in about 5 minutes. Then unplug it or whatever. So that's enough about that. But okay, recommendations. Yes. Now that I've used it and welded a couple of things, I did another job as well. So the bigger job was the trailer for the boat, those leaf springs. Repaired that, and he has like a bass boat or whatever that he goes fishing with, and the trailer needed to be fixed because that thing was sitting like this, and then I fixed it, and now it's sitting like it's supposed to sit. Bottom line, I recommend the Titanium Mig140. Great purchase, especially if you're going to get it for $100 cheaper like I did. If you can find a deal on those, I highly recommend it. Now, I had purchased this welding cart that you see here. It's a Chicago electric welding cart. That brand name is neither here nor there, but that's Harbor Freight's. That's their brand. When you go to Harbor Freight, Chicago Electric is pretty much what they sell all the time, year round, and there's usually deals. They even have the Chicago Electric welder that you can buy, and then Chicago Electric even makes welding helmets. So anyways, I had purchased this 100-pound capacity welding cart, all metal construction, because it was on sale, and I had bought it very cheap. I forget, but it was like dirt cheap. I'm talking about like, I got this thing for like $20 or something. Now, again, this welder I bought within like 8 months. I've had that thing for over a year. This thing weighs 24 pounds, so it's very lightweight, which is a good thing, and it has a handle on top so you can just grab it. This thing supports up to a 100-pound welder. Okay, this is only 24 pounds, so this is well worth it. I think these are about $60 or $70 new. I got it for like $19.99. Couldn't pass that deal up. I bought it, but it's been sitting in the box for over a year, and even though I used this, I didn't use it in conjunction with that. I just grabbed this box, slapped it on my dolly, went to the job, did the job. It only took 30 minutes, finished, and I took it back home and I got paid for the job. So again, doing small repairs or doing hobby welding or even repairs of your car, body work, what else? Artwork. Some people use creativity and they weld structures of like metallic, pieces of art out of steel. this is good for that. Or if you have furniture you want to build, this is good for that. Anything around the house, this is really good for that. It's a very, very, very good welder for typical everyday use. If you're going to be welding structural stuff and pipeline stuff, no, this is not for that. It's not that heavy duty kind of level where you're going to be building a steel apartment or something. But anything around the house, backyard, fences, gates, trailers, repairs of your car, something in the engine block or the framework, absolutely recommend it. It's very, very powerful for what it is. Extremely powerful, way more than what most people are going to need. So again, I got $100 discount. Close to, it was like $290 that I paid for it for a $400 brand new unit. This is about a $70 or $65, $70 welding cart. $19.99, baby. Hard to pass up. So I wanted to put this together today, and that's what this video is really about, because I was bored again. Stuck here at home, quarantine. It's Saturday, and I'm wanting to put something together, so I did. So here it is. The titanium welder is sitting on top of the top shelf. It's all black construction, all black steel, anodized, painted. Again, the brand is Chicago Electric. Just to give you a demonstration, this area in the back right here where you see that bag, that red bag, that's where you would put your gas bottle or your tank, your gas tank. And you have these chains here which would secure the gas tank simply by slapping them in these holes, and then it holds it in place. Okay, and there's another chain at the bottom. I just put the bag there to give it an effect, but that area is designated for the gas tank or the gas bottle, the gold gas tank. But as you can see how it sits very well on top of that welding cart. So I'm happy with the build. It took me like 20 minutes to slap this thing together. You have your instructions right here, which are pretty basic. The owner's manual gives you all the precautions, shows you what to do, how to slap it together, the casters, blah, blah, blah. It's really basic. And then all the parts are laid out. There's the parts list, the diagram. So if you need more parts, you can probably order them on Chicago Electric's website. The maintenance is so basic. Point number 1, periodically tighten all the hardware. Point number 2, make sure the casters and wheels are free of all dirt, debris, and grease. So that's your maintenance. You have 2-step maintenance. What did I use to put it together? A Phillips head screwdriver and this nut driver from my kit. That is literally all I used. A Phillips head screwdriver and that little nut driver. And I put this thing together in 20 minutes. Very simple, but I like the way it looks. Down there you'll see a box. That box is my welding helmet that I got at Home Depot, and that was $60. It is an auto darkening variable shade lens, adjustable, solar powered. It works great. I've used it when I was in welding school at welding college. I used that for the whole semester, which was 16 weeks, and I took 2 classes and got a couple of certifications. This welder also comes with 30 thousandths wire. This is your solid core wire, 1 pound. And then what I have inside of there's a roll on there now, a flux cord. You can see it there. And that's what I use to weld that job. And then I just keep stuff in there like tape measures. And then that's the actual, the nozzle, the gun. You have your settings, the rated duty cycle. Like I was telling you, 3 minutes welding, 7 minutes resting. So there it is there. And then all your settings are listed here, which is a basic guide. You can adjust it as needed, like I did. Like for instance, I set it to what it said to set for what I was doing for the thickness of the steel that I was welding for that job for the trailer. but it was too hot, so I had to adjust it down a little bit. And you have your voltage and adjustments here, your wire speed feed, and your inductance. Everything is right there. And then you got to make sure you put it on the right setting. For this one, it was DC-EP, which was direct current, electrode positive. As you can see, it's still left where I left it at, because I was using flux cord, which is DC-EP. If it was the gold gas, I'd be DC-EN, electrode negative. I have some safety glasses here, ANSI certified, and then some welding glasses, which are dark, keep so you can watch if somebody else wants to watch your weld. But I just used the welding helmet. And then there's the build. Oh, and this is what you would use to connect to the gas bottle. Brass fittings. And then here's the ground clamp. And it hangs on there. I had to put these on too. I secured these little hooks. And there's another one on the other side. So there it is there. It's a quick little video on two things. The Titanium 140 welder from Harbor Freight, sold at Harbor Freight, and the Chicago Electric 100-pound capacity welding cart, anodized steel with casters, and you have wheels on it. As you can see, it rolls. Good little unit, and I recommend both of them. If you can get a deal on it, go ahead and get the deal. They do go on sale. Generally speaking, around Black Friday, I think they offer like a $50 coupon. So these are $400, which is typically $399 plus tax. You get the coupon, you're going to save $49.99. So it's a $50 coupon. You get this for $350. I got really good deal on it. Like, it was marked down to $319, and then he put it down a little bit further, and I paid $290 plus tax or whatever. And then, shoot, man, $20 for this cart, which is like a $60 or $70 cart. Can't beat that with a stick. And they go hand in hand, as you can see. For all my welders out there, you know how fun it is to weld and how necessary it is to have good quality gear. So this little bag right here with a bunch of tools in it, I got that at Home Depot. It is a Husky bag, and it's loaded with tools. And then if you look over here, I have a larger Husky bag. And then I have my big tool chest right here with my grinders, my angle grinders, my welding gloves, a bunch of other hand tools, and some gaffing tape, pipe wrenches, and stuff like that. So, you know how it is, gentlemen. When you're a tool junkie, it's hard to say no to buying tools, right? This is all acquired over a period of time. It's not like I bought all this in a month. It's years of spending money on stuff. And then, of course, my trusty dolly, which I really appreciate that thing. It's a good dolly. Got that on Amazon for $25. And I've used it, gosh, I can't even tell you how many times I've used it. It's adjustable. This handle is adjustable. Harper is the brand. $25. It was $24.95 plus shipping. I had free shipping because of the Amazon Prime, so it was like $25 for this dolly. Excellent deal. I've used it a lot to move. I'm talking about moving furniture like that couch. I moved with that dolly. Strapped it down, tightened it down with ratcheting straps. So, again, I'm going off on a rant, but, you know, tool junkies out there, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's just fun. So, ultimately, I do recommend not only the Titanium Mig140 welder, but also the Chicago Electric 100-pound capacity welding cart. And there it is. And if you're quarantined at home, bored like I am, I don't know, try to find something constructive to do like I just did. All right, thank you guys for watching this video. And any questions, leave them below. Please like and subscribe. Thumbs up if you can, please. If not, thumbs down. But again, oh, here, power switch right here. Power on. again, like I said, if it's plugged up, here's the plug, 110 power, right? 110 or 120 volts, and you're done with your weld, click this power off and leave it plugged in so that the cooling system the fan can cool down the machine. That's your duty cycle. Like it says in the thing, 3 minutes of a straight weld. Most people who are doing hobby welds don't have to run a 3-minute bead. But if you do, run it for 3 minutes. When it hits the duty cycle and it shuts down, go get a cold drink. Now again, I've had friends say that they've welded for 4 minutes or 5 minutes because they weren't at maximum amperage. They adjusted their settings and they got 4 or 5 minute beads out of it. And this thing, by the way, can support a larger spool. This can hold up to a 10-pound spool in there. That is a 1-pound spool, but I have an attachment which is right over here. And if you put this in there and tighten it down, now you got the ability to hold a 10-pound spool inside there. So I keep this in here. But that's it, man. Just real quick stuff. I'm not going to plug all this stuff up because I'm at home and I'm in my house. It's Saturday night, man. Bored as hell. So there it is. Thank you guys for watching again. Staff Sergeant Calhoun from Whittier. Peace out.